Welcome, my name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be showing you how I'm designing my April bullet journal spread. It's kind of crazy to me that it's already April. I feel like this month has just like flown by. At least for me it has. I feel like I've been really busy with lots of fun projects. So yeah, anyway, I'm excited to get into it. I decided to go with a cherry blossom theme, and the spread turned out to be a little bit different than I kind of went into it with, like, my initial idea, if that makes sense. Like, it turned out a little different as I was like working on it, but I'm excited to show you how I designed this one, and yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I've sketched everything out already, and now I'm just kind of going over it with my Micron pens. And like I said, I decided to go with a cherry blossom theme, so I just kind of created this little wreath around the word April and just kind of scattered different cherry blossoms, and tried to do different like angles to make them look a little more, you know, realistic. And then I added some little blooming ones that haven't like fully bloomed into a flower, just to add a little bit of variety, and added a few little leaves around there. So I wanted these petals to look very like dainty. They are very thin petals, and I kind of wanted to make that come through the sketching that I did. So I think I used my 005 size pen, so it's a really tiny one, and I just kind of briefly scattered my line work, so it's not like a full line. I don't know if that's really gonna come through the camera, but yeah, I did these very light lines around the petals, and then I added a little bit of kind of some extra lines to give it some shading, and then some other little pieces on the petals to give it a little bit of dimension, and yeah, where you can see like the petals kind of folding up and over the other parts of them. So yeah, honestly, I feel like these turned out so pretty. I feel like they're so dainty, and I just love cherry blossoms. I think they're such a pretty flower, and obviously, like, I just feel like they're perfect for spring. So yeah, and then I did this little cursive font in the middle, and now I'm going over all of the petals with my brush pens. I was debating whether I should do the watercolor paints, but I felt like I had all of the colors that I wanted in my brush pen set, so I decided to go with that. And so I chose like the lightest pink that I have to just kind of briefly outline all of the petals. So yeah, and then I'm just going over it again with my Micron pen, adding in some little stamen parts to each of the flowers, and then I'm going over it with a darker kind of that peach color that I tend to use in all of my spreads, and I'm just adding in some shadows and kind of going over the stamen part, coloring it in with that peach color, and then adding in some shadows to some of the other parts of the flowers as well, kind of the parts where the petals like fold over. So yeah, gives it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm actually using my brown brush pen and kind of going over all of the stems that I drew out with the Micron pen, just because I thought the brown would be a little bit more fitting. It makes it look more like the branch, so I wanted to add some color to it. So that's what I decided to do for that. And then moving over to the calendar page, this was where I was a little bit more like unsure of how I wanted this page to go. I knew I wanted a bigger calendar, and I wanted to tie in the cherry blossoms, but I wasn't sure how to do that. So I just kind of started with this big calendar in the middle, but it looked so bare that I was like, I need it to look a little bit more interesting. So I kind of looked up some different ideas, and on Leela Journals, she's another YouTuber. She does a lot of bullet journaling. Her content is so magical and whimsical. She's such a talented artist, and so she had a spread that had little like picture frames, and I was like, that's such a great idea. So I kind of came up with a little picture frame. Again, it is kind of random. I know it doesn't really flow with the whole spring and flower theme, but I just wanted a way to kind of decorate the calendar here. So yeah, just created a little picture frame that kind of outlines the calendar, and then I did a little banner at the top for April, and then added the cherry blossoms underneath the frame. But yeah, I know it's a little random, but I think it turned out well, and I'm happy with it. So yeah, I just did like a little branch of the cherry blossoms at the bottom, and yeah, again, went over this with my micron pens and then added in some color. So I use the same pink and peach colors to outline the banner, and then add some shading and stuff for the frame, and then yeah, added in a few little details there as well, and then colored the cherry blossoms in the same color scheme as I did on the other side, so it really all kind of flows and ties together. So yeah, and I also, for this spread, I decided to kind of film it in a different angle than I normally do. So I'm someone that tends to kind of work really close to my bullet journal. I like to get up and like see all the details, so you'll see my head is in the shot. So I'm sorry about that. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to like film these spreads, so I'm working on it, but I feel like this you're able to see a little bit more detail than some of the other like ways that I've like filmed these spreads. Anyway, moving on to the weekly spread, I decided to incorporate the same like picture frame idea for each of the days of the week, and then obviously I'm using the cherry blossoms as well, so I kind of did a little kind of circular like cluster of them here. I didn't really want to do a wreath like the other spread, but I wanted it to have a bunch of them in one little spot, so I chose this upper left hand corner to just kind of do a little bunch of them, and yeah, kind of use the same technique where I'm just kind of lightly outlining them, and then yeah, adding in some shading, especially to like the stamen in the center area of the flowers, and then I go in and outline the days of the week and the days of the month, and then I still wanted to use that banner because I really liked that on the other spread, so did the similar thing just kind of at the top here for April, and I feel like it was kind of a small area to work with, and the cursive was a little tight in there, but it works. So yeah, and then I used the same style of picture frame and just did that for each of the days of the week, and went in and did a little detail in the frame to give it a little bit of like depth and dimension and a little bit of contrast as well. So yeah, and this actually, all those little lines and stuff in the frame actually took a little bit longer to do than I thought, but you know what, it's okay. I think it like added to it rather than like leaving it blank. So yeah, I felt like it turned out really well. And then I went in with my brush pens again and used that light pink color and the peach color to give it that shadow and shading. So I know I tend to like use the same color scheme a lot, and I promise for next month's spread I'll do a different color scheme. I just, for whatever reason, I've really been loving these light pinks and peaches. I just feel like they're so fitting for spring, and I've just been really loving them, but I do need to branch out, I feel like, and yeah, experiment with some other color schemes. So for next month I will definitely do something other than pink because I know it's not for everyone, but yeah, I really had fun with this one, and yeah, I hope you really enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.